Hi, I'm Lillian. Psychology has been my obsession since freshman year, and now as a senior, I'm just days away from submitting my thesis on childhood trauma patterns. 2 years of research, interviews, and enough caffeine to fill a swimming pool. Can you keep it down? I'm trying to focus here. I glanced up from my laptop to see my brother James hovering in my doorway, looking irritated as usual. I'm literally just typing. This thesis is due next week. Whatever. Mom said dinner's ready anyway. I saved my document for the 1,000th time that day. I'll be down in 5. Just need to finish this section. 15 minutes later, I headed downstairs, only to find James had returned to my room. What are you doing in here? Get out? Chill, I was just looking for my charger. Your charger is never in my room. Get out now. James rolled his eyes dramatically. God, you're so uptight lately. It's just a stupid paper. It's not just a paper. It's my thesis. 2 years of work? Yeah, we've all heard it a million times. You're so special with your perfect grades and your fancy thesis. When I tried to usher him out, he stumbled backward, knocking into my desk. My coffee spilled across my keyboard, and as I lunged to save it, James jerked away, sending my laptop crashing to the floor. The screen shattered instantly. What have you done? I screamed, dropping to my knees. It was an accident! You pushed me! I did not push you! You did this on purpose! My parents, Margaret and Robert, rushed in at the commotion. What's going on in here? Margaret demanded. He destroyed my laptop! My thesis is on there! Robert picked up the mangled device. Can't you turn it on? The screen is completely shattered, and it won't even power up. James was already playing victim. She's overreacting. She pushed me and I fell against the desk. I did not push him. He came into my room without permission and deliberately knocked my laptop over. Margaret sighed. Lillian, you know how you two get. I'm sure it was just an accident. Are you kidding me? My thesis is due in a week. Robert shrugged. Don't you have it backed up somewhere? The latest version is on there. I've been working on it all day. Well, siblings will be siblings, Margaret said dismissively. James, apologize to your sister. Sorry, he mumbled, not looking remotely sorry. That's it? My entire future is at stake here. Don't be so dramatic, Robert said. You can use the family computer until we figure something out. I called Taylor immediately after storming out. They're taking his side again. He destroyed my laptop, and they're acting like it's no big deal. That's messed up. Pack a bag. You're staying with me until this is sorted. The next morning, I met with Professor Chen. I understand your situation, Lillian, but I can only offer a 3-day extension. The department has strict deadlines. 3 days? But, Professor... I'm sorry, but that's the best I can do. I suggest you work with campus IT to see if they can recover your data. Walking back to Taylor's apartment, I felt the walls closing in. 2 years of work, countless hours of research, all potentially gone because my brother couldn't stand me succeeding where he was failing. We'll figure this out, Taylor reassured me. And when we do, we're going to make sure your family never dismisses you again. The campus IT guy looked at the damaged hard drive and shook his head. I can try, but no promises. This thing took a serious hit. Please, I'll pay whatever it costs. My voice cracked as I handed over the mangled remains of my laptop. Taylor squeezed my shoulder. Let's grab coffee while we wait. You've been staring at that tech desk for 2 hours. At the campus cafe, I scrolled through my email on Taylor's phone, searching for any drafts I might have sent to myself. I found an older version from last month, but I've added so much since then. Better than nothing. We can work with that. Taylor pushed a muffin toward me. Eat something. You can't function on anxiety alone. You know what's crazy? This isn't even the first time James has ruined something important to me. What do you mean? Remember my art portfolio that got accidentally soaked before college applications? Or how my SAT prep books mysteriously disappeared? Taylor frowned. That's not normal sibling stuff, Lil. I always thought they were coincidences, but now I'm not so sure. Back at Taylor's apartment, we created a makeshift workstation on her dining table. While searching through my email for any salvageable thesis fragments, I stumbled upon an old message from James's high school counselor that had been mistakenly sent to me. Holy crap, look at this! I turned the screen toward Taylor. James was caught cheating on 3 different exams last semester. That's why he's on academic probation. While your parents act like he's the golden child, that's messed up. My phone buzzed with a text from Margaret. When are you coming home? James feels terrible. I tossed the phone aside. He doesn't feel terrible. He got exactly what he wanted. What's that? Me failing. James can't stand that I'm succeeding where he's struggling. The next day, I swung by my house when I knew everyone would be out. I needed more clothes and my backup flash drive, if James hadn't destroyed that too. In the hallway, I heard the garage door opening. Panicking, I ducked into James's room to hide. His desk was a mess of crumpled papers and energy drink cans. As I prepared to slip out, a familiar folder caught my eye. My research notes, clearly marked with my name. What was this doing here? Flipping through, I found pages of my work alongside James's assignments. He'd been plagiarizing my research for his own classes. What are you doing in my room? I spun around to find James in the doorway. Using my work to pass your classes? Real original? His face reddened. You always have to be the star, don't you? Perfect Lillian with her perfect grades and her fancy thesis. So you decided to smash my laptop? Do you realize what you've done? It was an accident. But his smirk said otherwise. Like hell it was. Just like it was an accident when my art portfolio got ruined. Or when my SAT books disappeared. His expression shifted, confirming my suspicions. You've been sabotaging me for years, and Mom and Dad just let you. They know you'll be fine. You're always fine. I'm the one who needs help. That doesn't give you the right to destroy my work. I grabbed my folder and pushed past him. Back at Taylor's, I spread out the evidence. We need to document everything, Taylor said, grabbing her laptop. Start from the beginning. Every accident, every time your parents took his side. What's the point? They'll never believe me over him. This isn't about convincing them anymore. This is about making sure there are consequences. I spent the next 3 days working nonstop, putting on a show of despair whenever my parents called. I don't know if I can finish in time, I sniffled into the phone. The IT department couldn't recover everything. Maybe this is a sign you should take a semester off, Margaret suggested. The campus IT had actually recovered most of my data, and Professor Chen had secretly granted me a full extension after seeing evidence of James's sabotage. What's next in Operation Karma? Taylor asked. I need James to think he's won. I pulled out a flyer for the psychology department showcase. I'm going to tell my family I'm too devastated to participate, then suggest James present instead, something I'll help him with. And he'll take the bait because he can't resist showing off, especially with something he didn't earn. I called James that evening, forcing my voice to sound defeated. I can't face the department showcase. Maybe you could present something? I could help you put together a presentation on adolescent behavior patterns. You'd help me? Why? I need to focus on salvaging my thesis. Besides, maybe it'll make up for, Yeah, sure. Whatever. Email me what I need to say. Next, I contacted my Aunt Patricia, who had always seen through James's act. I'm not surprised, she said when I explained everything. Your brother pulled the same stunt with my laptop last summer. Did you know he's failing 3 classes? Your parents think protecting his feelings is more important than teaching him consequences? Well, consequences are coming. I showed her our evidence file. He's been using Mom and Dad's credit cards, too. I pulled out printouts of unusual purchases, gaming equipment, expensive clothes, concert tickets. I handle their online banking sometimes. These purchases all happened when they were out of town. Your parents need to see this. They will, at exactly the right moment. Back at Taylor's, we finalized our plan. I crafted a brilliant presentation for James, full of complex concepts he wouldn't understand. When professors ask questions, he'll crash and burn spectacularly. Meanwhile, I prepared my real thesis for submission, strengthened with research on enabling behaviors. What if your parents don't show up? Taylor asked. Aunt Patricia is handling that. She's convinced them it's a special award ceremony for James. The night before the showcase, James called, sounding nervous. Some of these terms, I don't get what they mean. Just memorize it exactly as written. Trust me, it'll sound impressive. As I hung up, Taylor looked concerned. Are you sure about this? It seems harsh. For years, he's sabotaged me while my parents looked the other way. The day of the psychology department showcase arrived. I'd secretly submitted my thesis 3 days earlier and received an email that morning from Professor Chen. Congratulations, Lillian. Your thesis has been selected for departmental honors. We'll announce it at the end of today's showcase. I smiled at my phone but kept the news to myself. Perfect timing. The auditorium was packed when I arrived. Taylor and Aunt Patricia sat in the second row, while my parents and James were front and center. There's my academic star. Robert beamed at James, who was fidgeting with his note cards. You look terrible, Margaret said when she spotted me. Are you sure you should be here? I wouldn't miss James's big moment. When James took the stage, he started strong, reciting my words perfectly. Then came the quanda. Fascinating perspective on trauma responses, said Dr. Williams. How would you reconcile that with Bowlby's attachment theory? James froze. Well, attachment is important. Could you elaborate on your methodology? Asked another professor. I used methods, scientific ones. The whispers started. One professor leaned forward. This sounds remarkably similar to Lillian Morris's research. Are you familiar with her work? James tugged at his collar. Actually, my sister helped me a little. That was my cue. I stood up. Professor Chen, may I address the department? The floor is yours, Lillian. I walked to the podium and placed my recovered laptop on it. What my brother meant to say is that this isn't his research at all. It's mine. The same research he tried to destroy when he deliberately smashed my laptop last week. The room went silent. Lillian, what are you doing? Margaret hissed. I projected a series of images on the screen behind me. These are screenshots of my brother plagiarizing my work for his classes. And these, I clicked to the next slide, are records of purchases he made using my parents' credit cards without permission. James bolted for the door, but Taylor was faster, blocking his exit. This isn't just about academic dishonesty, I continued. It's about a pattern of sabotage that my parents have enabled for years. Robert stood up. That's enough. We're leaving. Sit down, Robert, Aunt Patricia commanded. For once in your life, listen to your daughter. Professor Chen stepped forward. In light of these allegations, we'll need to launch a formal investigation into academic misconduct. 2 weeks later, the dust was settling. James was placed on academic probation and required to complete an ethics course. My parents faced the humiliation of their friends and family, knowing exactly what kind of behavior they'd enabled. I moved into my own apartment, funded by the scholarship that came with my departmental honors. You could come home for Sunday dinner, Margaret suggested during her one attempt to reach out. James has apologized. An apology doesn't erase years of sabotage. I'm done pretending we're a happy family. But we are family. Biology isn't enough anymore. I need actual support, not just lip service when it's convenient. 6 months later, I started graduate school across the country. Taylor and Aunt Patricia helped me move. Any regrets? Taylor asked as we unpacked my new office. I placed my framed thesis award on the desk. Only that I didn't stand up for myself sooner. I never did go back for Sunday dinner. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding, especially when you're finally standing on solid ground. That's the end of Lillian's story of revenge against her toxic brother and enabling parents. What would you have done in Lillian's position? Was her public exposure of James justified? Or should she have handled things differently? Would you completely cut off family members who repeatedly sabotage your success? Or give them another chance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this one. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload.